This is a partially destroyed Fender Squire Stratocaster made in China. It needs some work. It's likely from the early 2000s. I'd say probably around 2002, if I can judge on some of the math I was doing here. It's pretty dirty. Some little someone sprayed something on it, so you can see that the finish is kind of speckly. There's parts missing. The pickguard is broken in several places. Pickup covers are grungy. Everything's kind of grungy. That's broken off there. It's missing a tuning key. Someone kind of like sanded this or something. I think they might have like sanded off the Squire. Maybe they're embarrassed. Who knows? But the most egregious problem is this, which is a pretty significant chunk taken out of the fretboard. That will need to be repaired. My vision for this would be, it's going to be a black pickguard. It's going to have two Firebird-like mini humbuckers, because I don't like 3 pickup guitars. I might even say I don't like Stratocasters. I know, that's sacrilege. What else does it need? I don't know. It definitely needs a polish and some kind of scrubbing to get this grunge off. Maybe I'll get a wang bar for it, because I can, get funky with it. Yeah, there's that. This is what I saw. It's the 20th anniversary Squire. And it says since 1982. So that's why I'm saying around 2002. It's pretty grungy. And, I might just end up replacing these with something similar. And, polish it up, make it look better. Oh, you can see all that grunge, whatever that is. I figure out how to get that off. Because I will not paint this thing. Or I will not paint a guitar again, I should say. Swear. So that's it. Let's try a quick test and see if the electronics are working. I'm not sure why I'm testing it, since I'm going to rip everything out, but let's just see. So the pickups work, though I'm going to be getting rid of them. So does it matter? I don't know. There's something loose for sure, so I'll get rid of that too. I bought this recently at the flea market. I don't remember what they were asking for it, but I offered them less than that, and he seemed very happy to be rid of it. Like I said, I'm on the record for not liking Stratocasters. I don't know what it is, but I've always found the form of the Stratocaster somewhat louche. Especially a red Stratocaster with a white pickguard. Now I know there have been a lot of legendary performances done on a Stratocaster, and some that I even enjoy. Certainly Jerry Garcia playing Alligator, Jimi Hendrix did his thing. It's been a lot. But there's a lot of people who played it very badly, and I won't go list them. I will own that a lot of this comes down to just personal preference. I've played a Telecaster for a very long time, and that's been to me the platonic ideal of what a guitar should be. I've also played a Les Paul off and on, and that also to me is what a guitar should be. I think that's the date there, by the way. 02, something or other. My first real guitar was a Fender Bullet Telecaster, which I modified with a broadcaster pickup and a humbucker pickup in the neck position. At some point, I decided that I wanted to try out a third pickup, so I routed it out, put in a middle pickup, and started playing it, and I was like, what is this sound? What is this quacky noise when you put it between the bridge and the middle pickup? It sounds like hot garbage. I don't want this. So I took it out and went back to the broadcaster and the DiMarzio Super Distortion in the neck, which it still remains that way and sounds amazing. So this 3 pickup thing, I'm not into it. So you throw it in the trash. So I need to repair this chunk taken on the neck, which I have no idea how you get that kind of chunk taken out of your neck, but here we are. The first thing I'm going to do is make it a very uniform shape. So I'm just going to carve out all the random strands and make it a very square-ish shape, rectangular shape, and then fill it in with some type of wood. I'm not sure why I made the decision to not go all the way to the next fret slot here, but that's what I did. I'm sticking with it. I support what I did. I went through my wood pile and dug out all the different scraps of wood that I have, of which there are many. And I couldn't find anything that matched it well enough, and decided that if it was going to stand out in some way, I might as well go bold. And I have this chunk of ebony that I bought for no reason at all, and decided to use that. There are a few little spots on the fretboard that needed filling, so I did the old super glue and sawdust. trick, and it worked out pretty well. There's a bunch of scuffs and dirt on the back of the neck. The scuffs are kind of deep. I don't know, probably from falling off a truck or whatever it did. But there's also a glossy neck, which is, I'm just not crazy about how that feels. So I'm hitting it with some 320, and that's both taking off some of the gloss and also getting rid of the scuffs and blemishes. Old English, glass bottle, 99 cents. So it's pretty old. So it's old English. I think that's Anglo-Saxon. At any rate, language jokes aside, I used this on the previous video for the Honer, which I'll link to in the description. And it brings out a nice luster, so I'm going to keep using it until someone tells me it's wrong. I might even use it after that, actually. So, right or wrong, I like how this looks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is it wrong? Is it right? I don't know what the previous owner was thinking about when they sanded this Squire thing off, but I'm going to just leave it as is and buff it out a bit and see how that looks. So I'm just testing in an inconspicuous spot what's happening with this finish. And then I try it on the crusty stuff and nothing happened. I did a light scrape with a chisel and this came up, which is not the finish, but is something else. So I decided to try a few different options. The first here is some white Dilux on a cloth buffing wheel. That didn't work. And I tried some naphtha to try to get through this thick crust. That didn't work. Then I consulted Claude, and Claude suggested that I use polishing compound on a buffing pad. That didn't work either. Then I tried a little bit of steel wool, and that cut through the crust pretty well. And then I did some polishing compound on top of that. And it looked good until you really looked at it and you saw, see all the scratches? That's from that steel wool. So I'm using rubbing compound here. Let's see how that goes. And as you can tell by the hazy bits here, it did not work either. So after that last rubbing compound debacle, I decided we're just going to sand it with 1000 grit and then go all the way up to 3000 grit and then do the rubbing compound, and then do the polishing compound. And I'm happy with that. I could have done more rubbing compound and it would be a 3-hour-long video. Kind of like how this looked actually when it was sanded, and I was tempted to leave it with this cool kind of matte look, but I figured I'd probably have to put some kind of clear coat over that to sort of seal that in, and I did not want to do that. Doesn't that look kind of cool? Oh well. I'm quite happy with the finish. There are dings, of course. You've seen this guitar, so you know there's dings. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. As you can see, I decided to go with a single humbucker rather than the dual mini humbuckers. I'm using a Jeff Bezos branded dual hot rails humbucker pickup. The colors are pretty exciting. I'm making jokes about this $25 ridiculous looking pickup, but it ended up sounding pretty good. Much better than a Stratocaster with the selector switch between the bridge and middle pickup. I'm very happy with how this turned out. It's very simple, very basic, much more dignified. Let's hear how it sounds.